Hello and welcome, beautiful beings of light, to Weaving the Magic. My name is Kelly, and I focus on illuminating the higher truths that awaken your heart's deepest wisdom. Today's pick a card reading is inspired by the Aries archetype and energy, that fiery and bold initiating energy. The topic of today's reading is about illuminating the next bold move to make to transform your path. Full disclosure, this oracle deck that I've picked your initial cards from or shuffled them from is called the Naughty Oracle, and there is some vulgarity sometimes on the cards or in the booklets. So just a full disclosure there, this bold, fiery Aries energy isn't going to let anything rein it in. So if you are new to this channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you haven't already subscribed, I do appreciate that. Your pile selection is based on these cards here. We've got pile 1, 2, and 3. You can also choose by crystal. We've got the red jasper for pile 1. We've got the carnelian for pile 2. And for pile 3, we have golden healer. So you can make your selection or selections. The timestamps will be in the description box. And I will look forward to seeing you in your reading. Welcome, pile 1, to your reading. If you chose the red jasper crystal, this is your first card. I'm going to be shuffling some tarot and additional oracles, but I'm going to pull this first card over and start reading. And here we are, the vulgarity begins already. Shitful shadow side. Balance your good, bad, and ugly. Again, this card is pulled from the Naughty Oracle deck, which really doesn't slack on showing the shadow side. I mean, it is based on, this is the bad and the ugly. Already with this card coming out, this pile is going to be really talking a lot about shadow work, especially about heart-centered, conscious, elevating the love and the capacity to hold yourself through shadow work. Card number 34, this talks about the divine feminine and for the masculine, the emperor. This is talking about, wow, the emperor and the empress. This is about holding yourself in nurture, structuring the way you see yourself and changing your perspective to more of a balanced, nurturing perspective. It's interesting that it talks about shitful shadow side, because no matter how much shadow work we do, no matter like how well adjusted we are, being a human means that there's always going to be more shit that comes up. I mean, it's just part of the nature of like everything in nature composts, right? Leaves fall off of trees and then eventually turn back to dirt. Just like we're humans, we eat so we can sustain our life, and then we have to get rid of what's left over, of what doesn't belong, of what's not nurturing us. It's cards shuffle out and fall on the floor here, so let me pick these up. We've got the 9 of Pentacles in reversed. And we've got the, wow, 10 of Swords in reverse as well. Okay, 9 of Pentacles in reverse and 10 of Swords in reverse with shitful shadow side. It feels like you've got some frustration and it's not being taken very lightly. How much heaviness, how much weight, how much mental stress. It feels like all of your resources have been depleted. It feels like perhaps you're coming from a place where like you honestly have nothing left to give, and it feels like you've been saying to yourself, my life is in the shitter, like my life is garbage and there's nothing that I can feel grateful for. Again, we're going to keep this reading to the tone of like, what's the next bold move? What's the next bold move that you need to make? So this might even be like letting go of, or basically like allowing yourself to release everything that you have been holding on to, all of the burdens that have been weighing down on you. Son of Cups in reverse. So this is the Knight of Cups reversed. And this is the 6 of Swords. No, 7 of Swords. The Slaving. All right, so listen. What I feel like is you've been sitting in the shit. You've been stuck in the shit. You can smell the shit. The shit is everything that you're paying attention to. All of these cards are shit. The way that they are, those cards. The Son of Cups is like, you've been holding it all. Look at this explosion of feeling, this explosion of color that wants to come out. But there's nothing being expressed. It's all bogged down. There's nothing like coming out. The toilet being symbolized here, honestly, it makes me feel like purging. It makes me feel like, not literally, but figuratively, take a bunch of Miralax and let that shit go. Like, just let it go. You're like bogged down. I mean, honestly, this could be like a physical detox. Like, you're literally filled with shit and parasites. This Seven of Swords could certainly be like a parasitic type of a thing. Look at this one eye open. It's like you're aware of something that's been hurting, and I really feel physical body. You're aware of something that's been hurting your physical body, but you just won't let it go. So I'm getting to the conclusion here that your next bold move is going to be some sort of a detox. I'm going to switch to a different tarot deck. This is the Tarot of the Curious Creatures, because curiosity is always a good step to shifting perspective. When we are certain that we're seeing things clearly and in a certain way, it can trap us. That's what this feels like. Nine of Pentacles is generally a really nice card. It talks about like self-made wealth, luxury, abundance, all of those things. But when it's in reverse and it's with all of this here, it really feels like you're holding on to something that wants to be let go of. Because maybe you think that you need that, or maybe you think that's the only thing you have left, but maybe it's the only thing holding you back. So when we get curious about our perspective, when we get curious about a new way of seeing things, we can often find the solution. Three of Pentacles, look at that. You don't have to carry it all. There's more support. You don't have to hold it all. Like, there's support on the bottom here. You could be elevating yourself to here, or even up here. You could just let it all go. This is a pyramid. The pyramid also speaks of like, who's behind you in a spiritual sense. You have ancestors, guides, angels, all sorts of entities, energies, archetypes, elements that are lifting and holding you. They want to build and co-create with you. 3 is the first seed number of divine creation. So you've got things on your side that want to build with you. Cats are also like a mystical creature. They're divine. They can see into other dimensions that we can't see. And they're so sweet and fluffy and cute. And it's like, I think again, you're stuck and staring at the shit and you're afraid of purging all these emotions and letting all this go. But I'm feeling like you don't need to hold back. Like, cats don't feel bad about their shadow side. Sometimes they're cute and cuddly and sweet and wonderful, and then other times they're totally like turn around and scratch your face and don't feel bad about it. And why need to? Like, everyone's got autonomy. Here we go with the Empress. I'm not surprised. I'm gonna go back to the 3 and the 4 on this card. 3 is the number of divine feminine. So here's 3 and 3 again. Here's 9. That's 3 3s. 3 must be a really relevant number for you. Maybe you have like, I'm not going to speculate. Let me finish this thought first. All of these hearts represented here, the 3s, this is all about divine feminine partnership. This is about the nurture and the wholeness. When you look at the number 3 and it's like very round qualities that like hold within it, it speaks about like, look at this, transcending duality. It's enlightening duality. 3 comes after a 2. 2 means there's 2 sides to a story. No, there's not. There's 3. There's your story, their story, and then the truth. There's a higher perspective. So this is like nurturing your ability to lightly ascend into a higher truth. By tapping into the mothering ability, the mothering desire that we have, or I'm sorry, the desire to feel the mother. I'm going to just say something and just take it as what it is, because all it is a channeled message. No matter what you do, I will always love you. No matter what you do, you are always a creation of the divine. You are always a child of the divine. You are a co-creation of consciousness and Mother Gaia Earth. You are a co-creation. Your mother always loves you, even when it's coming in and messing your whole world up. The tower in reverse indicates to me that it probably has already happened, that all of this stuck and crappy feeling of just sitting in the shit is because, quite literally, divinity has come in and evacuated you from the tower of what you've created. It was just 9:06 on the clock when I looked. The divine is co-creating this apparent mess with you so that you can see the good in the bad and the ugly. The tower draws our awareness to what wasn't working, to the foundations that we had built that we couldn't see the cracks in. The universe does, consciousness does, and it will, for our benefit, destroy anything that has cracks, that is not a solid foundation, so that we can move forward with greater self-love and clarity. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about integrating all of these pieces. So this is definitely, without any doubt, the call to do some shadow work. To take a look at the parts of yourselves that you deem as like this. These two sevens. Sevens are like a trickster type of energy, where it's like something appearing to be outside of yourself, but it's really within you. This is like really taking note on what do you see in the world outside of you that doesn't seem nurturing, and how could that possibly be so? I'm really getting the call to remind you to look to nature as to how it composts things. How does it break down the unwanted, the unneeded, the unnecessary, or something that had been necessary but now is no longer? like humans taking a crap, like getting rid of what doesn't need to be held within you. Now, at the same time, recognizing and appreciating that, like, wow, my body is divinely functioning to get rid of this stuff naturally. I don't need to be ashamed of this physical process. It's divinely created. This is how I was made. It's natural. All of me is welcome, even the processes that I go through to eliminate waste from my body. All of that is natural. I think the bold next new move here is like recognizing any and all parts of yourself that you've pushed away and inviting them back into the fold, giving them nurture. Like, you were created within me for a reason, and most of our shadow selves were created within us for the reasons of like safety, security, to not feel lonely, to be able to make sense of things that were beyond our comprehension and our reason. Especially from when we were children. So I really feel the call to shadow work here in terms of recollecting and reclaiming. Yes, and here's the bold new adventure, the Fool. Being a loyal companion to your own self, to your own darkness. This card is just pure black in the back, and this being is luminescent. And it's got a black and white striped bathing suit ready to dive in. It's ready to dive into the shadow work. Your best, bold, new move, Aries-driven energy to initiate the new chapter, the new timeline, the transformation of your path is to dive into shadow work, doing it with the purpose of becoming your best friend, becoming your lifelong companion, the support that you deserve, the loyalty that you deserve. I'm really not even sure what else to say. Let me see if there's anything else that would like to come out to concrete this message. And of course, this is going to be different for everyone. You're all going to have different shadow parts or pieces or whatever. And honestly, it's just fractals of the same things. It's fractals of the same things. Shadow work is allowing the divine to hold you and cheer you on, while you learn how to love and nurture and appreciate and take ownership over all of the parts and pieces of yourself. Because if and when we don't, we stay stuck. We can't fly. Our feathers are bound. We're stabbing ourselves in the back. We're condemning ourselves to continue repeating cycles that could otherwise close if we decide to purge, if we decide to let our emotions out. Or we'll just keep staring at ourselves from some place within, resenting and regretting, and our subconscious will cause us to take paths that continue bringing us more of these tower moments, more of these destructive experiences that make us feel like we're falling. And of course, we're always being caught, but we can avoid, the need for this extreme destruction if we just stop destroying ourselves. And that's by taking a look with a compassionate heart. All of those hearts in that first picture of the shitful shadow side, the green, the gold, the pink, it's all about heart chakra and solar plexus chakra. So the combination of feminine and masculine, supporting yourself with strength, supporting yourself with nurture, supporting yourself with love, and no condemnation while you go forward. 2 last cards out here. Look at how beautiful this is. I'm going to turn these upright because that is just the way they are meant to be. I am positive. The Hermit and the 6 of Wands. When you go within and you find your own light, you are absolutely a success. Look at the black and white beautifully integrated here. She's got the black and white shoes, the black dress with the white scarf. I speak the truth. I'm proud of my darkness. It's part of what creates me in whole as to who I am. I can hold myself. I can stand here confidently, appreciating everything that I am. The 6 of Wands is success. The 6 of Wands is the success of spirit celebrating with you because they've co-created this success with you. And all you need to do, the bold move that you have to make, is turn on your own light. Turn to your own wisdom. Decide that you are capable of guiding yourself through this. And if you need a little one-on-one assistance, reach out to me for a reading at weavingthemagic.com. That link is also in the description box. Pile 1, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Choose another pile if you feel so inclined, or check back in for another reading. I upload new ones every week. Moving on to pile 2. A desire to have more. And coming out with the Hierophant, and in reversed, 2 5s, by the way, this feels like, alright, you've been taking advice from other people, which is not bad, but it feels like at this point you maybe are experiencing a little confusion as to whose path to follow, what is, your illumination, what does guide your path. Because it feels like perhaps you've been led astray by some spiritual guru, well-intending, well-meaning person that said some things that you thought was the ultimate truth because they said it was the ultimate truth, but it turns out you're not. This card came out in pile 1 as well. Perhaps there's something for you there. But this is about thievery. This is about like that trickster energy that can tell us that somebody else probably has better answers for us than we have for ourselves. And that trickster is a liar. We generally are always going to have the best answers inside of our own intuition and our own heart. But also, however, the Hierophant is such a relevant key because there really is the beauty of learning from others. There really is the beauty of like those that have spent a lot of time on mastering themselves and their perspective, that have wisdom to share. However, those that truly are wise will never ever tell you that their wisdom is more relevant than your own, that their insight, that their keys, that their anything, their teachings should override your own feelings. And if that's happened, run as far away from that teacher as humanly possible, because that's not a teacher you want to listen to. That's a darkness showing up and parading as a teacher, sneaking around with one eye open, waiting with this sword and waiting. This pile is about becoming more clever. This pile is about understanding that your wisdom emanates from within you, and that while it's great to have spiritual teachers and those that can show you and illuminate different paths and unlock keys for you, you truly have the capacity to have everything you need inside of you. Your next bold move is starting to trust that. Let's get 2 more cards on the table here. Son of Cups also came out in pile 1. I really strongly feel like maybe there's a message for you there, only if you were pulled to it already. And then the 8 of Cups. Nope, wow, can't count. 7 of Cups. Oh my goodness. You've got stuff to share. You don't feel like you're there yet. Air quotes. You don't feel like you're there yet, but you're a wisdom teacher. Your next bold move is to start sharing. Your next bold move is to stop feeling like you have nothing to give. You've gained so much already. You're aware of the trickster energy. You've hit the streak of lightning. You know, like you've been illuminated, and this will keep happening forever. The peaceful center of you is found in knowing that you have all the tools you need inside of yourself, and you're never done growing. You're never done learning. It brings us to a level of peace to know that we can't be accomplished completely. We're never done learning, but there's always more to find and seek and be curious about. And in your case, to express. You've got a lot of wisdom born from like the emotional depths of you, and it's time to start sharing that. It's time to start embracing your leadership qualities. 7 of Cups is about choices, and it's really about like emotional choices. It's about emotional awareness, discernment. You can see the light from the dark. You can tell the difference between fully illuminated and only partially so. And this is really helpful energy. Let me get some more tarot from another deck. This is the Tarot of the Curious Creatures. I said it in pile 1, I'll say it again. Curiosity is our best friend. Curiosity, and I want to say seeking, but I don't, because sometimes we can be curious without seeking. We can be curious by just allowing things to come to us. And pile 2, that is definitely your vibe. You can just sit in stillness and allow things to come to you. You've gone through so much change and so much adversity already. If you sit in stillness and just allow your own expression to come forth, it is absolutely worthy of being shared. Got some cards falling on the floor. Let me put them in here. Pick that up. 9 of Pentacles. Interesting. You're definitely linked with pile 1 here. But this is like the next step forward or something. 9 of Pentacles. This bear just holding its fellow friend in its hand, taking a nice stroll. Like, I don't have anywhere to do or be or accomplish or achieve. Nice and slow is the best way to go. I appreciate all the messengers that come to me. I appreciate the co-creation that happens when I just take a stroll through the park and I center myself in nature, and I'm passionate and creative and heart-centered, referencing all those colors, the red shoes and the skirt, the orange, the green gloves. This is passion, creativity, heart-centered living, and purity with that white shirt she's got on there. Ace of Pentacles, excellent. Do something. Put your hands in clay, on art, something physical. Get out in the garden, plant some seeds, literally. Plant some seeds. I have the feeling of like writing and planting seeds. Let me pull some more cards so I can clarify that vision. Wow. Pile 2, illuminate the next bold move to transform their path. Pile 2, I really feel like there's some physical manifestations coming your way as you walk. Walk the walk, talk the talk, talk the walk the talk. 3 of Cups. This is about celebrating, communicating with yourselves. 3 of Cups. Maybe don't share with everyone right away. This feels like you're guarding yourself against gossiping. This feels like you want to take these next steps, but what might be holding you back is like the idea of other people not approving of you, the idea of other people having something to say, or like maybe being ashamed of how your spirituality presents differently than someone else's. Fuck it. Fuck 'em. And I don't mean that with any hatred or anything. It's just irrelevant. It's irrelevant what anyone else thinks about you. It's irrelevant how anybody else feels about what you know is true for you and what you know wants to be shared through you. If I shut down my channel every time I felt like what I was going to say wasn't going to land appropriately, I'd never open my mouth. And if I didn't open my mouth, this is the energy. Look at this. She's blindfolded, and she's not even trapped by these thin, skinny little swords. This is a white horse of freedom, blindfolded and barely tied up. Like, this being is so much more powerful than these swords. And it feels like you could infinitely be trapped in the mental loop of concerning yourself with how others do it and disqualifying yourself. Personal note, when I went to prom back in 2006, I wore a white and black polka dot swing dress. And everybody else had those, like, you know, pastel colored long flowing gowns and all this whatever stuff. And I wore white and black polka dot swing dress with matching white and black polka dot shoes, and a bright red lip and bright red nails, because that's what I wanted. I didn't want to be what everybody else's ideal of prom was. I wanted to be me. There's a lot of notes about individuality in here, like this purple one in the middle of the two. Sometimes our wisdom comes from, yes, being the different one, being the odd man out. Knight of Pentacles. And knowing that it's a slow-moving process. Knowing that all the while we can be and ought to be building our safety within us, building our stability, our foundation, knowing that every time I make a move of bravery, despite the fear I'm feeling, I get one step closer to my true self, to where I ultimately want to be. I come one step closer to the home of who I am and how I am and where I belong and where all of me is accepted. It's by taking small little steps that you build the courage and the foundation of the life of your dreams, to be who you are, not who you've limited yourself or who society has limited you into thinking that you are. Your next bold moves are to start practicing what you want to be preaching, like what you've been feeling coming out in yourself. Got two more cards coming out here. The Death card. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And the Ten of Wands. Ooh, I love it. Okay. The Death card is talking about a cycle ending. Rebirth. Look at how professional this looks. Like snazzy professional. Back in the day, in the 90s, you know, business suits and all that stuff were god-awful and terrible. Even worse in the 80s. Even worse before that. But in the 90s, they were terrible. And now, when you see like business professional attire and things, it's like snazzy. People care about style. People care about whatever. This is about putting to death the way that you saw yourself and allowing some new, upgraded, grown up version to be reborn. Like, people will take you more seriously than you think. And it depends on how you look at yourself. But 13 is the number of lunations in a year. The moon goes through all these different cycles, goes through all these different phases, maybe different ways of presenting themselves. A lot of my childhood feels to be coming up, but I'll just say, like, I had so many different phases. I was into this kind of music and these kind of scenes and these kind of people. A lot of that was my chameleoning energy that I didn't know who I was yet. And I thought I had to force myself to fit into a mold. And maybe that's what you did. Maybe you forced yourself to become something that you really weren't. And now you've been following this path of illumination, and all these things have been breaking through, and these truths have been wanting to surface. And you're finally getting ready to put an end to, like, the quiet version of you that just became whatever it needed to become. And now you're ready for a rebirth. This Ten of Wands is really, really awesome and interesting because Ten of Wands typically talks about a burden that you've been carrying. And it's like, why? I feel like, why are you carrying these sticks through the desert? Why are you carrying these sticks through the desert in a bag on this haphazard mountain where it really takes a lot for you to balance just to hold this burden on your back? When you got your dancing shoes on, like you're going to a swing club, why are you carrying this burden when you're meant to dance? Go ape shit. Start swinging from the ceilings. Let go of this burden. Spirit, give me one more card. Concrete, concisely illuminate the next bold move for pile 2 to transform their path forward. One more card. Please make it clear. Help me be a channel to help pile 2 transform their life into this beautifully, wildly peaceful emanation of the divine birthright to be exactly who you are, and the Hanged Man in reverse. Okay, I suggest that you take some time by yourself without being on display of anyone else, because you will be eventually, but right now it's for you to practice. It's for you to practice feeling authentic and unburdened on your own. So if like I'm feeling a real creative, creators pile. If you're thinking of starting a YouTube, much like this one, or something similar but different, or you want to do speakers and all these different things, start practicing in the mirror. Start making recordings of yourself, saying what you want to say, presenting it how you want to present it, and then watch them back. This isn't narcissism, to be self-focused, to be observant of ourselves. It's actually like nurturing. When a mother watches a child and then they lovingly offer correction after connection, that's how children grow. So observe yourself. Connect with yourself. Oh, I'm so proud of you the way you did that. Look at all this wisdom that comes out of you. And here, maybe fine-tune these things. Maybe ask yourself a little more like, is this how you want it to feel? Is that fully illuminated? Is there more you want to add? Is there more you want to take away? Because this is combating this 3 of Cups, feels like an 8 of Swords, that you want to like kind of protect yourself from other people's opinions. So start practicing being who you know yourself to be but haven't practiced yet by yourself. Because once you do, you'll be ready to radiate. You'll be ready to radiate. You've already been building this up within yourself, this 9 of Pentacles, and you are so supported. Plant the seed and start practicing by yourself, sharing this illumination that you have within you. And the more that you do that, the more that you practice those small steps, you'll feel the stability, this Knight of Pentacles, and the nudges of when to move forward. This electricity from the Hierophant, the key will unlock when it's ready to unlock. You got to just take a few steps closer to the door. So pile 2, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like the video if you did. If you have another pile in mind and you want to choose that, you can head to that timestamp now. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I so appreciate you doing so it can support me in making more content like this. Check back next week for another reading because I upload a new one every week. Moving on to pile 3. Okay, if you chose pile 3 with the Golden Healer Crystal, this is your reading. This is your Oracle card from the Naughty Oracle deck. Here we go with the vulgarity. Fucked above, fucked below, fucked within. Center yourself. Well, that's some Aries fire for you. All right, so this Naughty Oracle deck really, it really hammers it in, the whole like sense of humor that we need to have in this whole spiritual journey community of all these things. Because honestly, how many times have you wanted to say like, screw all of this, fuck all of this spiritual, verbiage and phrases and all this stuff. Like, none of that's grounded. Do you actually see what's happening on life? This is about mirror energy. This is about what is the perspective that you're centering your life around. And, just based on this Oracle card, it's like you're coming from a place of like not really feeling very good about anything. Kind of feels like perhaps you've been being pulled in different directions, or like you want to grow, but you're growing in weird areas that you haven't really like determined, and maybe there's like a lack of focus. It seems like there's a fight going on between the solar plexus energy with the yellow and the root chakra and the creative with the orange. So let me pull some tarot cards and see get a better picture as to what's going on with you, so we can ultimately hone in on what is the next bold move to make to transform your path. Because it certainly feels like this path, you're looking for some transformation. Just based on the numerology of this oracle card, you've got a 1 and an 8, and it kind of feels like, based on your own self-will alone, you've been stuck in an infinite loop. Wow. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Cards falling on the floor, and this is what comes out. This 10 of Swords came out in another reading. I don't remember which one right this very moment. We've got the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Swords. So this is like all you see right now is what's been broken. The mountains you haven't been able to climb. All of the darkness that seems to be way bigger than you can handle, or that you can wrap your mind around, that you can see the bigger perspective despite of. 10 of Swords is like mental energy that is just killing you. And yeah, really, it feels like you've been stuck in these loops for a long time. Perhaps that's why you're drawn to that golden healer crystal. Out of the others, this was like the least fiery, passionate, because there's a gentleness here to the golden healer. There's a gentleness that needs to come in. And there's a gentleness that you can't see right now. So let's get some more clarity. A couple more cards here for my pile 1. Clarify the situation or the path that's been happening right now. Death and the 3 of Pentacles. Interesting. Really interesting. Alright, death doesn't feel good, right? Death doesn't feel good at all. It came out in pile 2 as well from a different deck, but the process of dying, the process of recognizing that something is no longer vital, that doesn't feel good. Okay, but what happens to the earth when something dies and it's allowed to decompose? And all of that organic material is able to go back into the earth and be reused. It can turn into something else. It can turn into the earth that then becomes supportive. It also gives us a mountain to climb. It also gives us a new sense of self to erect. So you're experiencing a death. Some part of you is being killed off. Again, on the floor, everything is falling down today. And that's the theme of your reading, 8 of Wands. You want things to happen a lot sooner than they've been happening. And because things aren't happening as quickly as you want them to, it feels like it's all fucked. It feels like, and you're blaming yourself. You're blaming yourself because of that new age spiritual horse shit that's like, you're manifesting this, which is true, but it's also bullshit the way that it gets phrased, because it's like no one in their right or wrong mind decides I want a bunch of bullshit to live in. But it's challenging to overcome conditioning that forces us to see only what's physical, feel only what's physical. It's really challenging to see the perspective from above or from below. Perhaps pile 1 might have a good message for you as well, but we're going to pull some more cards from a different tarot deck to kind of hone in on like what are the bold moves that you need to take. And I'll be honest, it's going to be some bold moves for you to take to move forward from this energy, because this is a perspective shift that needs to happen. I feel like what you need to see is the stability that's been being forged in the shit. This is a crappy message, but it is true. How resilient challenge makes you. Now listen, I don't advocate for saying like, oh, it's great, I love suffering. Although at the same time, I've reached a point where like I'm grateful for all of the ways in which I've suffered and the ways that I had to struggle through that, because it did create in me a resilience that now I don't want to have to be resilient anymore. So I got myself out of the situations, the relationships, the perspectives that caused me to feel like I need to remain resilient and hyper-vigilant and constantly crusading and constantly fighting and struggling and warring. I don't want that anymore. Those things already taught me my lessons. I'm grateful for the lessons I learned from them. And I feel like pile 3, there's something that you're meant to be learning for your path forward based on the shit that you're stuck in right now. All right, so give me some, please. Next bold moves. How do we help pile 3 transform the path ahead of them? Illuminate. Please, Spirit, help me be a channel. Help me be a channel for the good, so the bad can be understood. All these cards fell out, and I'm going to take them all exactly as they are. So we've got the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the 8 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, and the Fool in reverse. So let me assess for a second. Sorry, I bumped the camera there. All right. Knight of Wands talks about moving forward with passion. Is this a chameleon? I think it is. Might be a chameleon, might be, no, like a bearded dragon or something like that. Regardless, Knight of Wands talks about really moving forward with passion in our heart, with desire. To be honest, this feels like raging against the machine. This feels like allowing yourself to rage out all of the bullshit that you've had to endure in the past. This is like writing letters, like fuck you letters, to people that have hurt you. And I don't intend to say you should send them, but maybe you should write them. Queen of Swords is about clarity that sometimes is cutting and harsh. This is holding people accountable for the ways they've fucked up, for the ways they've screwed you over. Also for your own perspectives that have been created in the process. Queen of Swords is absolute clarity. There's no fooling this archetype. This wise owl is also not afraid to show themselves, their true colors, their expression. So between these 2 cards, I really feel very strongly that a practice of writing out letters, holding accountable. I used to be in Narcotics Anonymous, and then the 4th step, it's talking about making an inventory and really identifying everyone and everything that has hurt you and how they caused your problem, but also then doing the same for you. How did you participate in that? And listen, this isn't victim blaming. Hold accountable those outside forces that created you, and also know that you are a participant. You are not responsible for the things that happened to you in childhood. Never would I ever tell you to hold responsibility for those things that you couldn't do when you were a child, which brings in this 8 of Cups thing. Yes, there's lots of disappointment from the past. Yes, there's lots of emotional wounding, but look at, you have a choice whether you want to keep carrying those ties to those things or not. And sometimes we can't just forget and forgive. Life doesn't work like that, and if it does, correct me where I'm wrong, but I can't just forget to forgive. I have to be truthful. I have to emotionally hold the people accountable in my life that fucked me over, so that I can be aware of A, I never want to do that to anyone else. B, if that ever starts to happen to me again, I'm going to see it coming, so I can walk away from anything that drains me emotionally, from any infinite, here's the 8 again, any infinite loops of suffering that I'm going to remain in if I don't cut myself free, if I don't speak my truth, if I don't use this sword of clarity to cut away, or this wand to just burn away anything that's latched itself onto me in the way of all these shitty energies. Because what we hold in our center emanates outward. And if we're holding, the process of dying and not the transformation of death, if we're holding the wounding of what killed us in these shattered cups, this is the 8 of Cups twice. You need to let go. You need to let go, and in order to let go, you need to hold people accountable. And again, maybe you can't, or maybe it's not a great idea to actually do that directly, but you have control over your own inner world. Regardless of what anyone else had ever led you to believe, you have control over your own inner world. No one else is allowed in. You can create that. And that's moving forward. 3 of Wands is talking about deciding what your heart wants. How are you going to be the leader, the business person, the decider of your own fate? What is your personal mission statement? What is your personal mission statement? What do you want to create? What do you see on the horizon? What's the sunrise look like for you? And then you've got the Nine of Cups, which is asking you to feel more deeply into that. This is like gathering the seeds of inspiration with the Three of Wands. Like, all of these things really pissed you off, really hurt you, really ground down your gears, right? But now you've left, you're walking forward, and now here's the cut line, right? You're deciding what's on the horizon. What do I want to see out there? What is exciting or inviting to me? Also, what makes me feel powerful? What makes me feel soothed? What makes me feel like I have plenty? What makes me feel like I could just sit here, and if I could wish for all things, what would the wishes be? Not what things do I want to have, but what do I want to feel? What do I want to feel? Pile 3, this is wrought with feelings, because the Cups card that have come out is just two cups that are both about disappointment. 2 Eight of Cups, infinite loops of shitty feelings. And here's the transcendence. The 9 comes next. Your next bold move, Pile 3, is really, honestly, taking time to sit and center yourself on what are the things I want to feel. I like feeling ease. I like feeling safe. Like, start with simple things. I like feeling safe. I like feeling the opportunity to choose. I like feeling content in my solitude. I like feeling imaginative. I like feeling creative. It's that kind of an energy to just sit and contemplate, what do I actually like feeling, and stop focusing on what you don't want to feel anymore. This Fool in reverse is like, this is a journey where you're not, like, a next bold move eventually, a further bold move is going to be to take a new leap of faith into a new version of life, but you're not ready to leap yet because you don't trust, and for good reason. You need to center yourself. You need to get centered on this. Focus your energy on getting this out so that you can make more room for this. Because once you're centered and your gravitational center is based in this, then you'll be able to take this leap of faith and land on both feet. And I'm not a fatalist. This is just the way it is, you know? It's just the way it is. I'm not saying, you know, you're not ready. You will be. You just, if you make moves and take leaps of faith when you don't really trust, you're going to fall on your face. Because the universe gives us what we already believe in. It reinforces what we already assume. The law of assumption. If you assume that the world is not a kind place, you know, that your dreams are, that your dreams are shattered, you know, that you can't have fulfillment, that's what's going to keep manifesting. And again, I'm not victim shaming. This world is fucked. And it creates a lot of fucked perspectives that are very easy for us to hold and maintain. That's why it requires focus, divine focus, the 3. Divine restructuring, the 3. 3, 6, 9. Here we are at divinity. 9. Let me show you what fulfillment looks like, feels like, tastes like. Let me give you a taste of the power of feeling fulfilled. Can I get one more card? There it is for my pile 3s. 5 of Wands in reverse. Stop fighting with yourself. Stop fighting between the good and the bad. 5 of Wands is talking about having enemies and competition, and look at this. They're walking on stilts. They're both trying to be dominant, but neither are being the bigger person, so to speak. You know, you don't have to. This is about elevating your consciousness. This is about elevating your passions above and beyond the smallness, the small human being. This is about elevating your consciousness and changing it into more than just your 5 senses. This is paying attention to more than just what your 5 senses can present you with and getting out of that, and again, more into the emotions of what do I want? I don't have to fight for it. I can just invite that change. I could actually bring the both sides of me together. The above and the below. I like it better this way. The above and below, the superconscious and the subconscious together. Can I instruct and inform and invite both of them to co-create with me so I can make determinations about what I want to see on my horizon, and then spend the time practicing feeling it, so that when I'm ready and the universe presents it, I'm ready to take the leap of faith into a bold new chapter. Because I've already been experiencing death. I want that to go. I want to balance it out. I want to find the balance. So, pile 3, next bold new steps to take. Write out some letters. Hold some folks accountable for the hurts. Vent it all out. Vent out the rage. Cry it out, scream it out. Do whatever you got to do, and then commit to walking away. Commit to being done with it. Commit to, look at how severe that shift is. This one's walking this way while looking that way, and then this one is focused totally on the future. There's no looking back anymore. Put it in the past and decide it's the past. And then find a new center. Find a new center going forward. Be the bigger person than the battle. The battle doesn't serve you anymore. So pile 3, I hope you liked this reading. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you've not yet. Share this with friends if it's something that feels like it resonates to you. I do a new weekly reading every week, so check back on Sunday next week for another reading. And if you were drawn to another pile, you can head there now. Again, thanks so much for watching. Take care.